This is the second lecture on the topic globalization. What is globalization? Globalization means to integrate the economy of one country with the global economy. The factors that have enabled globalization. Number one, improvement in transportation results in flow of goods and services. We have seen in the last 50 years several improvements in transportation technology, and this has made much faster delivery of goods across long distances possible at lower costs. The second is the use of information and communication technology. In recent time, technology in the areas of telecommunication, computers, internet has been changing rapidly. Telecommunication facilities, telephone, including mobile phones, fax, are used to contact one another around the world to access information and to communicate from remote areas. This has been facilitated by satellite communication devices. So the use of computer has made the globalization possible. Next is movement of capital and flow of finance. The movement of capital from one country to the other is also enabled the process of globalization. This FDI, portfolio investment. So the relaxation in this area, that is foreign trade, results the process of globalization. What are the objectives of globalization? Globalization has resulted in wider access to global market. Second, spread of new and advanced technology across the world. Now, all of us are using the advanced technology because of the globalization. Movement of skilled persons across the world. Now the people, those who are the skilled, they can go anywhere for job. So they have the better opportunity. They can improve their skill. Supply of cost-effective services. Cost-effective services because the country which is specialized in that particular field, they can supply the product or services at lower cost. So the country which is specialized in a particular field will supply or export that services. So that has enabled us to get the cost-effective services. We can get such services at lower cost. Positive effects of globalization. The globalization, there is a greater competition, and this competition, it allow us to get the quality product at reasonable price. Greater choice. Now the consumers have the greater choice. There are number of goods available, number of products available to them. They can select according to their choice. Higher standard of living. Now we can use the quality product, standardized product that lead us to improve our standard of living. Beneficial to local companies. Some local companies, they get the financial assistance from the multinational companies. They get some advanced technology or some technological support that benefits the local companies. Increased foreign investment. Now the foreign capital flowing to different countries where the possibilities to establish the production unit to the multinational companies through FDI, foreign direct investment, or portfolio investment. Emerging of many Indian companies as multinational companies. So, because of the globalization, many Indian companies such as Reliance, Tata, all these companies have emerged as multinational companies. Creation of more employment opportunities. The number of companies, foreign companies, they are coming to our country because of the globalization. Now, in their production unit, the Indian laborers, the Indian workers, they are getting employment. So it leads to increase in employment opportunities. Availability of wide variety of goods. That is the greater choice and the availability of wide variety of goods because of the globalization. Now we have the variety of goods of a particular product. The varieties that is possible because of the globalization. Availability of quality product because of the advanced technology used by the because of the globalization by the foreign companies, by the multinational companies, or even by Indian companies, because these technologies are available. And when goods are produced with the help of this latest technology, the quality of the product improves. Goods are available at competitive and reasonable price. And beside this, we can say that there is a cultural benefits, then friendly environment. It helps to maintain the peace, international peace. These are the positive effects of globalization. Now, there are some negative effects of globalization. Globalization results in income inequalities. It differentiates between poor and the rich. The rich businessmen, they becomes more rich, and those who are the small, they are unable to compete. So the globalization has ruined the small businesses. Insecurity of jobs. Mainly they provide the contractual job. Anytime they can fire, and because of that there is no security of jobs. Expansion of unorganized sector. Because of the globalization, there is unorganized sectors are expand. Extension of unorganized sectors where the securities, job security and other terms and conditions are not followed. Small producers find difficult in their survival. As we have mentioned that the globalization is good for the rich and the big business houses, but not good for the small producers. They find it difficult for their survival. Sometimes they are purchased by the multinational companies. Greater dependence on developed countries. Since most of the developing and less developed countries, they have the lack of capital, foreign currency, and they depend on the developed countries for their investment. So these are the negative effects of the globalization. The impact of globalization has not been uniform. The impact of globalization has not been uniform because it has benefited only the rich and developed countries. The developing countries are only a source of setting industries and getting cheaper labor, and the entire profits are earned by the developed countries. Many small manufacturers with low capital have not been able to withstand the competition from the large multinational companies. Workers are now employed flexibly in the face of growing competition. So there is no job security. This has reduced their job security. Liberalization of trade and investment policies helped the globalization process. How liberalization helped the globalization process? Liberalization has helped in the removal of trade barriers. There are number of trade barriers. All these trade barriers are removed. That makes the globalization process easier. It has made foreign trade and investment easier. So earlier the restrictions imposed on the foreign trade and investment, these restrictions are removed, and that made the globalization process easy. Liberalization led to the increase in imports and exports across the nations, thereby contributing to the process of globalization. Earlier, we find that our export import trade restricted to few countries, but because of globalization, this has increased to number of countries. Liberalization has allowed the developed countries to establish their industries and offices in the developing countries, which in turn is helping the spread of globalization. So developed countries, what? For example, in India, most of the multinational corporations, they have the customer care center in India, because the availability of the educated young people in India, that enable India to have the information technology center. Foreign trade lead to integration of markets across countries. Because of foreign trade, the producers are now able to compete and export their goods to the markets of other countries. Not just the sellers, but the buyers are also being benefited through this. Their choices have expanded, as now they get to choose products manufactured by not only domestic companies but also by the foreign companies. Due to the increased competition in the market, the prices of goods have also decreased. So, this is the benefit of foreign trade. For example, the Indian market today is flooded with several varieties of smartphones of foreign brands at competitive prices. Not only smartphones, in the bike sector, you'll find, in the car sector also you will get the varieties of cars and bikes, the foreign cars, foreign branded cars and bikes. This has benefited the consumers, as they can choose from various options available in the market on the basis of comparing their features and prices. So this is the advantage of the foreign trade, that the people of the country get from the globalization process. That's all. Thank you.